Have you ever wanted to listen to a popular audiobook specifically because a Goodreads reviewer hated it? No? Well, today you're going to hear all about a title I picked just for that reason. Welcome to Audiobook Reviews in 5. This is Yana, also known as Jana, and in today's episode, I'm reviewing Maybe You Should Talk to Someone, a therapist, her therapist, and our lives revealed by Lori Gottlieb, read by Brittany Presley. I've been wanting to review a great memoir for a while, and although Matthew McConaughey's recent autobiography, Green Lights, had its entertaining moments, I think it could have used another heavy round of editing to remove some of the artsy yet repetitive stream of consciousness passages. My craving for a gripping memoir persisted. I wanted to listen to something life-affirming and insightful, but with enough humor to avoid plunging me into a grim state. So I turned to the Goodreads Choice nominee list for ideas, where I found Lori Gottlieb's Maybe You Should Talk to Someone. Published in April 2019, Deadline's Nellie Andreeva describes it as an addictive character drama about a gifted therapist, accustomed to helping other people navigate their messy lives, who finds herself facing a crisis in her own life. This book has 4.37 stars after 168,000 ratings and over 15,000 reviews. Yet many of the reviewers I followed seemed to hate or love this book, varying between 1 and 5 stars with strong emotions to match. I was intrigued. The reviewers who hated this book seem especially annoyed that Gottlieb thinks she's funny, but they don't find her funny. So consider yourself warned. Now, Gottlieb isn't laugh-out-loud hilarious to me, but what I appreciate about her style is her willingness to reveal her less likable traits, like obsessively shopping for a sperm donor online, or eating chocolate and doing jumping jacks to stave off boredom before she's treating certain clients, or being completely irrational in relationships, just like all of us at one point or another. What I loved about this memoir was how seamlessly Gottlieb moves us from a therapist perspective to a patient perspective. And on a related note, Brittany Presley's narration performance in this audiobook was totally engaging and perfectly paced, especially in sections where Gottlieb is engaging with her patients. Presley nails the different personalities and energy levels in the therapist office. Gottlieb highlights her own approach to talk therapy with her patients before shifting gears to reveal her own behavior as a patient to her therapist, Wendell. It turns out that despite her experience as a therapist, Gottlieb isn't exactly receptive to Wendell's wise counsel. For me, there's something reassuring in knowing that even an expert like Gottlieb struggles to understand her own behavior. Gottlieb admits, quote, "For most of us, our biggest problem is that we don't know what our problem is. We keep stepping in the same puddle. Why do I do the very thing that will guarantee my own unhappiness over and over again?" Unquote. Gottlieb's style seems tailor-made for a TV script, and this book already has a TV deal, which isn't surprising considering Gottlieb worked in TV production at the beginning of her career. There's all the poignancy of real-life human drama, birth and death and illness, but none of the messy issues that might polarize audiences. Gottlieb and her patients don't struggle with poverty, homelessness, and class or racial disparities, so I assume they're all white and comfortably upper or upper-middle-class Angelenos, or in the parlance of Saturday Night Live, Californians. Jokes aside, this memoir reaches into the heart of therapy and distills the essence of compassion through storytelling. Gottlieb shows us how unreliable we are as narrators of our own lives, using herself as a prime example. But there's so much more to love here. Just as I was getting fed up with her storyline about treating John, her most obnoxious patient, Gottlieb reveals critical information about John's tragic past that suddenly makes him entirely sympathetic. This turning point beautifully illustrates our blindness to the suffering of others, but without the preachiness we might feel if this message was given to us in a self-help book. While Gottlieb explains the importance of investigating our past in order to understand our current problems, I appreciated her emphasis on how therapy influences future happiness. So often, says Gottlieb, our notion of the future can be just as powerful a roadblock to change as our notion of the past. As most of us adjust to life after a pandemic, Gottlieb's memoir is a powerful reminder of how we relate to ourselves and others based on the stories we tell ourselves versus our real-life interactions. Whether you're interested or experienced in therapy or not, this audiobook contains so many relatable life stories that remind us what it means to be human. That's all for this episode of Audiobook Reviews in 5. Thanks for listening. If you have not yet done so, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to Audiobook Reviews in 5 on Anchor, Apple, Spotify, and many others. By subscribing, you help increase the profile of this podcast and chances of other listeners finding it. I look forward to checking in with you all again soon. Please stay safe and be well.